Hey guys, trying to do a live video on Facebook for you, see how it goes, but I will just do my best to show you guys. I'm going to set some diamonds and keep an eye on if you guys have any questions, but this is just a fun video I wanted to do for everyone who follows my Facebook page. It's Christmas time and there's a lot of work to do, so I figured I'd come in today. Maddie came in with me and we kind of just hung out at the store, and now I have my camera set up, so I figured let's see if we can set some diamonds and have some fun before the week starts, so we can get a head start on all the Christmas gifts. So I'm going to see if I can pull up the video that I'm doing right now on a second phone for checking out if there's any comments. Otherwise, I will just set some diamonds for you guys for the next 30 minutes and talk about what I'm doing. And if there's, like I said, if there's any questions, I'm happy to talk while I'm setting diamonds. You don't have to worry about distracting me. I got a really beautiful project here that needs 12 diamonds set into it. I melted all the gold this morning actually for this custom wedding ring, and did the casting this morning, and now it's all cleaned up and ready for me to set the diamonds in it. So that's what you guys get to watch me do. So I have it all pretty much set up and prepped. I'm going to start setting my diamonds from the farthest backside here and then come forward from there. You probably won't be able to see exactly what I'm doing in the video here, but this is more just a fun little test video to kind of show me working from the bench, setting some diamonds and trying to see if it's worthwhile doing. If anyone enjoys the videos, I can try to do some more live videos of me setting diamonds, which is always cool to show people. So we'll kind of see how this goes, but I'll do my thing and you guys can watch along as I prep each of the seats for the diamonds here. You got to make sure everything's the exact size for each of the diamonds. Alright, let's quickly find... I told myself I'd have everything where I needed it to be for this video, but there's always a couple things that you forget about. So here we go. We're going to get all the diamonds laid out in the tray and measure them. Make sure the setting burr is exactly the right size. When you put the diamonds into those prongs, you got to make sure everything is as perfectly tightly fitting as possible. So every little prep step is very important. I'm just going to measure my little cutting burr over here real quick. Awesome. There we go. Slipped out. Perfect. See, that one's just a little bit too big. Awesome. There. See, this one's actually just a little bit smaller than I need. But when I'm setting stones, I want to try to keep my setting burr, of course, the perfect size or a hair smaller. But it's always easy to cut the seat for the diamond and then cut it just a little bit bigger. So it's that way for just being careful not to cut that seat too much. But we'll get this first diamond in here, and I'll kind of show you guys how it looks. Now this is there's many different ways to set diamonds. This is actually one of the most popular requests, is to get a diamond with the prongs and what is a pave setting. And I'll try to show you what pave means. But the biggest thing you'll notice is how I set the diamond into the ring. The prongs are going to be more of like a micro split prong is what I like to call them. And I have a little bit of a air power tool to get those prongs actually cut and split in half for setting the diamond in this pave style. So everything is fitting really well. It's just a little bit on the small side, so I'm gonna go back in here and just open it up a little bit more. The diamond has to sit not just flat, but at the bottom of the diamond, the belly of the diamond, that has to sit all the way into the setting, so it's not sitting up too high. And then I have to do that perfectly consistent on every diamond, not just the first one. All right, we'll get it back in here now to see how that sits. I want to get that in there perfectly tight. These little lenses on my face have a very low magnification for helping me see exactly what I'm doing. And then this little loop here is like a big, a much more powerful 10 power lens for seeing super close up, because you don't want to make too much of an adjustment and make the wrong adjustment. All right, there we go. Because the way the diamond slips right into these prongs is very tight, and so sometimes it's getting hung up, and you adjust it, and then it slips in and it's loose. And that is the opposite of what you want to do, because once you cut too much material away, it's hard to, you can't really put it back without a lot of work. So the first diamond you set is always going to take the longest, because you're gauging exactly how it's going to fit and how much to adjust it. And then after the first time, it goes a little bit quicker. But like I said, this is just a test video. Hopefully it's fun and interesting. Hopefully I don't say a lot of boring stuff that no one understands. And if I do, ask questions, because it's fun to explain things a little bit more. I got Eric watching the video. Good to see you, Eric. You have a tooth problem. That is a dentist problem, yes. Dentist and jewelry is super similar in a lot of ways, but I would much rather work on diamonds than on teeth, because that is very different. All right. I actually have a dentist appointment this week, right next door. The Rogers Dental Office. It's quite convenient to have them right next to my workshop here. And we're gonna just do some very gentle taps on the diamond here, because it looks like it's perfectly into the setting. But I'm going to just see if I can give it these little nudges, just like that. Just really lots of little gentle movements, because if it doesn't go in, I have to make sure I can get it out and then do another cut or another adjustment as needed. All right, that looks perfectly set in there. Beautifully. All right, so like I said, this is a pave setting style. So I use this little special power tool here. Kind of makes that little jackhammer sound. So this is actually an air-powered, hammer tool that will, I have a special tip in here for working with these prongs and splitting them over the diamond. So it's moving the metal very slowly and splitting the metal all at the same time here. And I go nice and slow. And we do both sides. I got both sides here because we kind of dropped that diamond in at a sloped angle from one side, tucking it under the other side. And now I have to adjust and press the prongs, split the prongs from one side into the other side. And then I move on to the next diamond. And when I move on to the next diamond and do all the same stuff, I'm able to make sure this diamond stays exactly as it is while I adjust the rear prongs, which adjusting the rear prongs here is also going to tighten the next diamond that I'm setting. So you kind of set one stone partially, set the next stone, and then when you tighten that stone, you finish tightening and setting the first stone. So it's a really cool pattern, just like that. And okay, we're gonna look really close. Make sure the metal's moved enough over the top of the diamond. We're gonna move it just a little bit more. Get this. Slow is fast, which is the best way to stop for you. You don't want to move the metal too much. But anyways, this is coming along pretty well. I cannot tell how well you can see this. I don't know the video quality on a live video. But we just set one little diamond. I have no clue. My video that I'm watching here has lag, but I don't know if you can see this at all, but little micro prongs, 4 prongs each diamond, split setting them, and we just got the first one in there. And so now we can move on to the second one, and it will usually go a little bit quicker after the first one here. All right, I want to see if I have anyone asking any questions. Of course, don't break the diamond. That's why very gentle adjustments and taps, which is actually a fun little question that I'm asked a lot is, are diamonds, can you break a diamond? Or I thought diamonds were the hardest thing in the world, or indestructible, which is a really fun question, because a lot of things, especially in jewelry, the perception of what someone says or explains can often be partially understood is the best way to explain it. Because a diamond is actually the hardest thing in the world. It's impossible to scratch a diamond. But that is explained as toughness versus durability, which are 2 different categories of, or 2 different definitions of strength, is I guess how I would explain that. So a diamond can't be scratched, but a diamond can be crushed. And so like the edges of the diamond, or like the very pointed bottom of a diamond, those can be broken or crushed, but they can never be scratched. So did our cutting for this next diamond here. Let's see if this one wants to sit in similarly to the first one. And we should be able to make those adjustments just a little bit quicker. But like I said, slow is going to be fast. Make sure that the depth of the diamond is cut equally to the first one. And then give it just a little bit of breathing room. Open that up. This is just a little brush tool that I use to clean off all those little metal filings as I'm cutting the metal away to make the next diamond fit in here perfectly. So we'll see how that's sitting in there. Get the super loop out here so we can see everything perfectly. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I don't know how long the video is going to be. I'm probably not going to finish setting all 12 diamonds, but I'll keep setting diamonds until it is time for lunch, because that is my plans for the day. And if anyone has questions, like I said, happy to answer them as you watch the video. Even if you're watching a replay of this video after I make this video, I will come back to answer any questions you have that are left on the post for me to take a look at. So it's like I said, you can't really see what I'm doing exactly, but that's why I'm trying to explain a little bit as I go along here, cutting and adjusting. A lot of little things to make it all fit together as perfectly as possible. Get this next diamond in here. That should have been the last adjustment I need to do to get it to sit all the way in. Pave setting of diamonds is a lot more detail oriented to make sure that Everything is super consistent, super perfect. We want the diamonds as tight as possible. If the diamonds actually touch each other, that can be the most dangerous thing to them. A diamond rubbing or touching another diamond is definitely the easiest way to cause them to damage each other. So wanting to be super careful of that. So now I'm taking these two rear prongs from this first diamond, and I'm splitting these prongs to tighten the diamond I just put in and then finish tightening the first diamond that was put in there. So we'll get this set up, aligned, and slowly work away, moving those prongs. And I gotta make sure the stone isn't tilted this way, or when I turn it this way, I gotta make sure it's not tilted that way either, especially as I tighten it. So, like I said, I think the video will be a fun perspective for a lot of people to see. Get to talk about a lot of stuff that people usually don't ask questions about, but give them this cool inside perspective. So, hopefully you guys are having a good weekend, a good Sunday. If anyone, of course, needs those last-minute Christmas gifts, I will be staying pretty busy and filling as many requests as possible for everybody, because it's always special and nice to just have something specially made. Not to mention, have something that's quality made and know it's going to last a lifetime. But yeah, so we got like 3 people watching this video, which is fantastic. This is a good test video, I think, and I'll probably do at least one more live video. And if people would rather me just upload an edited video with better footage of more of the close-up angles like I've done, I'll probably focus more on those. But I always like to try different things, giving people a couple different perspectives of the jewelry I make, or or how it looks as I'm making it, or that opportunity to watch me work from the bench or talk about it. It's just fun to share those different perspectives. So we got our second one in. We're going to go into this third diamond, and I'm not going to talk too much because I'm going to just start repeating myself, and and that is okay. So we'll get the next one prepped in here. If you have seen any of my videos of the close-up videos of me setting diamonds, let me know what is the most interesting part you've seen that you've liked. My personal favorite is the actually, there's a lot of sapphire and diamonds out there that people bring to me and ask me to reset into new jewelry, which is always very special. But the one I did recently, where it was little marquee-shaped sapphires and round diamonds, they brought me some earrings and a necklace, and I took the stones out of the old jewelry, and I designed a new ring and reset them. There's a full-length video with close-ups of how that ring was made, which is a fully edited video, which is beautiful. I think that it's been my personal favorite. So we got this next diamond in here, quick and easy. That one, I already knew exactly how much to adjust each part of it as I went through it. I'm going to give it just the gentlest little nudge here, if I can find my little tool. Just going to give it a little bit of nudge before I finish my adjusting the prongs, just like that. Just very gentle taps to just position it even more perfectly. These diamonds are really pretty. These are quite stunning, and it's always hard to capture how beautiful diamonds are and how well they sparkle when they're quality diamonds like these through pictures and videos. But I do all the photos myself, and I enjoy doing that to try to capture how they actually look. Try not to do any editing to them because that doesn't do anyone any favors. We want to know how they actually look. but getting these prongs adjusted, adjusting the rear prongs. If you're just watching the video now, this is it's like my little power tool for splitting these prongs into micro prongs, which is prong setting style for your pave diamonds, pave set diamonds. Just gonna come back over here and finish adjusting these. But we got Sheila watching. Hopefully you're having fun watching it. Thanks for commenting. That's always helpful. Otherwise, I'm just some goofy guy talking a bunch of nonsense. But hopefully it's interesting. I know it's not super close up, but hopefully you enjoy hearing me talk about jewelry and watching me set these diamonds in this ring. You're getting good comments on the ring I made you. That is wonderful. That is always fun to hear. Well, especially when you have something made and other people see how beautiful it is. It's always fun. All right, we're gonna get one more diamond in here. Then we'll probably call it a day, and hopefully I get some feedback from you guys. And like I said, I'll probably do at least one more of these live videos just to see what people think. But my priority is always to share what I do, show what I do. And if people prefer seeing the fully edited videos and the close-ups of me working, I can always focus more on those. Or I can focus more on the more fun live videos like this. I'll probably always do both, but it's nice to know which people enjoy the most. The full-length live videos are probably my favorite. Gives me a lot more time to just capture all the angles and shots of the jewelry being made. But they also cost money, and it's good to keep everything focused on. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I like doing them a couple at least, once a month would be really nice. Once every 2 months is probably more realistic for those custom videos. But that all comes down to what people enjoy seeing the most. Because if enough people like it, it's well worth paying to have those custom videos made. But if more people like the perspective of getting to talk and ask questions and watch me work on something live, I can do those every day. So, seeing what people prefer, what variety they like. Alright, this fourth diamond in here is looking really good. Oh yeah. So, let's get it fastened in nice and tight. We're gonna just take our tool and split those prongs. But yeah, this is a test video, so I don't have a lot of stuff prepped to talk about. Topics would be good, so that I'm not just rambling on. But I figured it's better to do something poorly if it's worth doing, and then improve from there. And before you know it, things go nice and smooth, and it's even more fun. Awesome. There we go. Getting those pave prongs split beautifully. Getting those diamonds tight in the setting. So yeah. So hopefully you guys are having fun watching the video. I'm glad you're having a great time, Sheila. I'll repost this video so people can watch the full video from the beginning. Let's see. We got time to set another diamond, so we're gonna do one more diamond in here. All right, let's get this there. Starting at a slanted angle. Tuck it in under the one set of prongs. Get the seat all cut evenly for the bottom of the diamond to sit in there perfectly. And then just open it up ever so little. Make sure everything fits perfect. So I get all these diamonds, and they're all calibrated and perfectly measured, but every diamond is still different in the exact proportions. Even if they got matching proportions, the way that they sit down into the metal, you're always adjusting it so that everyone is sitting as consistent. And because I guess the most inconsistent thing is myself. You know, when I cut that seat, it's hard to cut everything exactly perfect every time. So you're always trying to figure out that balance of how much do I cut to make sure it's as consistent as possible, and then just keep adjusting it so that it is perfectly consistent. So this diamond here, we're going to adjust us a little bit more. Your comments probably come through about 30 seconds delayed from when I actually see them on my end. But I appreciate the comments. I just ask for your patience so I can get to all of them. There's not really a lot, but just so you know, if you do make a comment and I don't comment right away, it's just due to the delay and the fact that I'm cutting the seat for the diamond as we talk here. But Sheila, you had a good question here. What's the most difficult stone to set? So it's a really good question. Different shapes of stones are going to be more or less difficult. And then also, if it's a diamond versus a certain colored gemstone, there's definitely a lot of variation there. So in the category of diamonds or gemstones, all gemstones are going to be 5 times harder to set than a diamond, because the gemstones have like many more variations to the shape and angles of the bottom of the stone mainly. But if we're talking different shapes, round diamonds, of course, are going to be your easiest. Most difficult, though, I would say most difficult, usually the most difficult shape to set as far as diamonds go is going to be a diamond that has, a cushion cut diamond in particular is very tricky because it's a square shape, but the corners are rounded. And so you have that challenge of making sure the prongs are perfectly centered on those rounded corners, but that the prong seat, when you cut it, you can't just cut a straight seat, because if that stone has any pivoting or shifting, even if it's tight, it'll loosen and then come loose. So like a square diamond having those corners, those are sharp corners. So those, you actually cut a little tunnel into the prong so that that corner goes into the prong, which keeps it very stuck into the prong. But cushion cuts like to twist and shift, so you have to actually cut like a indented seat that's not just a straight cut, so it can't shift and pivot, because if they shift and pivot, they come loose, and that's never something you want happening to your stones. But other than that, gemstones are much more complex and a lot more variations with gemstones versus diamonds to set also. So anyways, that stone was fitting almost perfect, but we're going to make a couple, just a little adjustment to how flat it's sitting, because it's just at a slight tilt, and that's not going to cut it. So we're going to take it out and adjust it again and see if it is now going to be perfectly level in there. This is where fingernails come in really handy, because you got the diamond sitting in here and you got to kind of nudge it and shift it and move it a little bit back and forth. All right, I think it's in a sweet spot, so we're just going to give it a couple little gentle taps here. Just kind of nudge it. You know, there's a reason why a lot of jewelers don't set diamonds live or don't do live videos. And it's because Sometimes it's scary. People don't like to see how their jewelry is made or see how it's worked on. But the most important thing to understand is that a lot of attention, a lot of care goes into it usually, especially if it's made by a private jeweler like myself, because we want everything to be as perfect as possible and as consistent as possible. But, that actually just brings up the fact that it is kind of wild and crazy when something as beautiful and as perfect as jewelry is, that, it can always be mass-produced very fast. There's always quicker methods, faster ways to set diamonds. But when you want things to be as strong and as, you want the quality to be as best and consistent as possible, being able to work slowly and do custom projects by request like I do is really the best way for me to make sure I have the right adequate amount of time to set diamonds and make the design and make sure the casting of the metal is clean. A lot of details. There's a lot of steps in the ring making process. So to be able to take my time on all those steps is very valuable to the end product. And I have the biggest advantage of them all, that I'm doing my own work so that I'm not having to obviously charge or pay someone else to set my diamonds and then have to upcharge that beyond what it costs me, but also take that time in making the pieces to be better. Spend that extra time, because if I spend extra time setting these diamonds, it doesn't really cost me extra to do a better job. It's just my reputation on the line when I set diamonds and when I make my own pieces. But the best part about that is if something ever needs to be adjusted, it's easy to do, and I know exactly what I did when I made that piece. And it's easy to maintain it and adjust it. And that's if it even needs it. Kind of one of the nightmares of modern jewelry is you buy a beautiful ring and it obviously costs a lot of money, and you have, maintenance issues. And the kind of dream is to not have maintenance issues, even if it's under warranty, because, maintenance issues are going to lead to inconvenience. And you don't want inconvenience. Your jeweler shouldn't want you to have inconvenience either. And especially because I make the pieces myself, any inconvenience to you is, in a way, an inconvenience to me, because I got to fix it then, which I'm happy to do. But my goal is to keep that to the absolute minimum so that you can just wear your jewelry confidently, love it, and enjoy it. And at the end of the day, I'll always take care of you. It's just a good balanced feeling when you had your ring, custom made. And we haven't even talked about the benefits of doing a custom ring. You get exactly what you want, and you don't have to pay for anything except the details that you've been dreaming about. It's like I make these mother's necklaces or birthstone rings, or I make everything. Necklaces, earrings, engagement rings, all that beautiful stuff. And each person got to individually request what they wanted, and can you make it exactly like this? It's usually just the littlest details that make the biggest difference to that person, and they don't have to go to 5 jewelry stores trying to find, does someone have something close to what I like? It can just be made. Just be made exactly how they've dreamed it up. Plus they can kind of improve and upgrade upon it all at the same time. So we'll get this next diamond in here. I think I made the final adjustment so it should fit perfectly, just like all the others. I'm just checking the comments here to see if there's anything new. It is definitely meticulous to make sure everything is just right. mean, a lot of time has to go into making sure things are fitting. You never want to say that's good enough. You always want to be like, yes, this is now perfect. If I have to make a little bit of an extra adjustment now, that's always going to save me time in the next step. That's going to save me time later. Because the idea is, if something isn't as adequate as it should be, like the prong coverage, for example, your prongs could not last as long as you want them to. And then that's an obvious problem. So I want to make sure these diamonds are as secure as possible, and I want to make sure these prongs last as long as possible. So you just got to be, kind of have to be a perfectionist and meticulous and such high level of detail, attention to detail, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, this diamond's coming together really well. I will probably just take any questions here at the end of the video. If you're watching the playback of this video, I will be happy to answer your questions. Let me know if you enjoyed what you saw and just what your thoughts are. It's nice to have, social media is an interesting place, but my favorite thing is to show what I do and kind of talk with people about that in, an educational way and a very, very fun way. So I want my social media page, I like it to be a place that has beautiful things, beautiful stories of why the jewelry was made a certain way, and beautiful craftsmanship, so that I can share that with you, I can share that with others, and yeah. Obviously, I have no problem talking, but if anyone ever has comments, it's way more interesting to kind of, just chat about what you guys have questions or curious about. Jewelry is, I work with customers every day, one-on-one, and I usually answer a lot of the same questions, but those questions are usually because there's a lot of miscommunication or misperception on, is platinum better than white gold? Or what is the difference between platinum and white gold is a very common question. And there's not a single exact answer. Platinum has benefits and white gold has benefits that platinum doesn't have, which I usually explain. But I'll probably do a video I'll probably do an edited video about what are like the top 10 most common questions people ask me every day. And it's good to ask those questions because if you don't know, you need to ask. But being able to have a good understanding of what the difference is instead of just saying this one's better because of this is what I try to focus on with every person who comes in my door or when I make any piece of jewelry. Because it's not about, oh, this is better and it costs more money, which is the common answer, which is my least favorite answer. If something's more expensive, how do you justify it? And you have to have a good list of reasons. And is the alternative any different? And even though it's less expensive, and there's obviously advantages to spending more money on certain things, but a lot of times it's more of a cosmetic or more of like a social status. And so I like to break down the differences there because that gives people the best honest perspective of what the difference is and what they should do. So I don't know if you can see this at all. This camera might want to focus on the ring. It might want to focus on my face. But maybe if I move my face out of the camera angle, I've been pave setting these diamonds into this ring here. And I got a few more to go. But hopefully you guys had fun watching me do it live. And this is where I'll probably sign off. You're watching The Jeweler Ryan. I do custom jewelry, and you're on my Facebook page, so you already know all that stuff. So this is me just, doing me. All right, guys, have a good one.